Hello everyone, I'm Simon Miller and welcome back to World Citizen. As the threat of a system-wide banking crisis and monetary catastrophe looms over the heads of the collective West, it is sobering to take a step back and realize that contrary to the way things are done here in the heart of the empire, there are still plenty of places in this world where the governance is sound, just, and truly representative of the will of the masses. According to the Executive Intelligence Review morning briefing for Tuesday 5/2, sign up link in the description below, First Republic Bank became the second largest bank collapse in U.S. history, with taxpayers covering $13 billion of the lost assets through FDIC insurance. Not only did the collapse itself leave thousands of Americans without access to their funds, but it allowed for First Republic Bank to be bought up by the highest bidder, in this case, JP Morgan. As is so often the case, all of this was done against the will of the American people and with us still footing the bill. How long will we foot the bill for our Congress's stripping of the Glass-Steagall Act in 1999, which had previously set hard separations between commercial and financial banking institutions, preventing bank runs exactly like this one? How long will we continue to foot the bill for endless bailouts year after year, trillions down the drain, while our trains, highways, and public infrastructure fall apart? For us to tackle these questions, let's take a look at another country, one that doesn't allow for the con artists known as bankers to swindle the public year after year. At a 2012 CPC Central Committee Symposium, then new President of China Xi Jinping made it clear that real economic growth was one of his top priorities. Quote, "First, we must maintain reasonable economic growth by continuing with our proactive fiscal and prudent monetary policies, and increase the natural vitality and motive force that drive economic growth. We must pursue real, rather than inflated, economic growth." Xi Jinping hit the nail on the head, as the key to an overall balanced and growing economy is to be proactive in our fiscal policy and prudent in our monetary policy, and to focus on improving the main drivers of growth within our economy. Let me ask you this question. What real drivers of growth has the US had in recent years, other than maybe endless war? In fact, since 1971 and the transition to floating exchange rate currencies, which threw out all semblance of prudent monetary policy, the US economy hasn't actually grown a single inch, at least not in the way Xi Jinping describes here. Of course, our GDP, that is the list of financial prices associated with produced goods, has grown, but this is not linked with any real growth in the productive sectors of the economy. Most of this was created through inflationary policy and speculatory nonsense. Writing of these exact derivatives in his July 2000 paper on a basket of hard commodities, Trade Without Currency, Lyndon LaRouche explains that the crucial fact upon which all sound economic decisions are now premised is the evidence which shows that the presently reigning financial and monetary institutions are so hopelessly and profoundly bankrupt that the world economy could not be saved without wiping several hundreds of trillions of current US dollar equivalent from the current, vastly hyperinflated financial asset values account. As much as the equivalent to $400 trillion in presently extant nominal financial assets of the world at large will have to be either wiped from the world's accounts or reduced by reorganization and bankruptcy to a mere fraction of their current nominal hard commodity valuation. Those claims denoted in such forms as financial derivatives, especially OTC derivatives, must simply be wiped from the books, categorically. Claims rooted in this so-called junk bonds and kindred speculative fancies must be treated similarly. Much of the international debt created not by actual purchase but by synthetic bookkeeping constructions, by administrative mechanisms of a floating exchange rate monetary system, must be simply canceled. This form of debt reorganization is one crucial step we need to take in pursuing proactive fiscal and prudent monetary policies. As Americans, it is our duty to join with the international chorus of voices calling for an end to the tyranny of our barely functioning economic order. And furthermore, it is in our best interest to do so.
Finally, we're asking people to get directly involved. 2 days ago, Marcy Kaptur introduced House Resolution 2714, Return to the Prudent Banking Act, which is a return to Glass-Steagall and will get the speculators' hands out of our pensions, our deposits, and our physical economy. If you want to help, the Capital Directory line will be down in the description below. Go ahead and give them a call. Ask to speak to your representative or to your senator. Go ahead and encourage them to vote yes on the Return to Prudent Banking Act, and then go ahead and call back and ask to speak to your senator or House representative, whoever you didn't speak to first. We need to get involved. We need to pass this, and we need to begin making rational economic choices.